Hey, what's up, guys? It's Halsey with the Helicopter Podcast, and today is just me, myself, and you guys listening, which I enjoy doing every once in a while. I love interviewing, love chatting with old friends and new friends, but it's also fun just to sometimes sit here and awkwardly stare at my camera and know that at some point someone will be listening to me. As of now, I'm just talking to myself, and so that is a little bit crazy, but I guess I'll work through that. Of course, as always, big shout out to MHM Publishing, Vertical Magazine, of course, proud sponsor of the HeliCASTS platform. I am just grateful to be on this platform. Our numbers have greatly increased since joining the platform. We have access to fantastic guests, and it's just a really neat thing. I think we're kind of like top dog for podcast platforms within the helicopter sector. Now, I understand there's not too many competitors, but hey, it's good to be the best. So I feel lucky to be on the HeliCASTS platform, and I appreciate you guys and the support. If you haven't already, head over to Halsey and make sure that you follow me on Insta. You can also follow the Helicopter Podcast. And if you wouldn't mind, check out Helicopter too. That's my helicopter sales and acquisition business, which I just love almost like a child. So if you want to head over there at Helicopter, you can like us. And to our other sponsors, thank you guys so much for making this show possible. Today, the purpose of this is to get hyped, get excited about the very first Verticon. I'm talking about VAI 2025 in Dallas. So as I record this today, I am 1 week away from actually heading to Dallas. So I'm recording this on a Thursday. I leave next Thursday. And then the show starts the following Tuesday, 12th, 13th, 14th. I'm absolutely thrilled and so excited to be going to my fourth expo. And actually first VAI. Still kind of getting used to that and the whole Verticon thing, but essentially it's the same thing, right? It's a gathering of helicopter people, and also, of course, now other vertical lift, the eVTOL and other things like that. As innovation comes, things are changing. And so that was kind of the purpose behind that. Now, it's really funny to me, and one of the things I want to start off with is this is only my fourth time going to Expo. It feels like something I've been doing for years. Well, I guess 4 years is years, but you know what I mean, like years and years, 10 plus. But it's only been 4 years. In fact, 4 years ago, we exhibited and went to our first ever Heli Expo. So we went on behalf of Helicopter. We had a little 10 by 10 booth. Getting there was a little bit stressful. Figuring out how to set up the booth was stressful and chaotic, but the actual event was so much fun. And that laid the foundation for now what has come kind of a yearly tradition for me, my wife, and of course our company, and now the podcast, of just something that we love going to do. Now, if you're listening to this podcast and you've never gone, and maybe you're early on in your career and you think, I don't need to go. That was my mindset. So that's why I only started going 4 years ago. It was really only because of my sales business. Now, looking back and knowing what I know about the show now, I wish I could go back to my younger self and say, hey, look, I know you're broke. You don't have much money. Maybe go ask your parents for something. I don't know. But somehow get to the show because it offers so much. And there's actually so much of the show that I've never even taken advantage of. For instance, I'm always working at the show, so I haven't actually had any time to do any classes. This year will be the same. So unfortunately, that's going to have to be on hold for me. But there's so many cool training seminars, safety discussions, panel discussions. There's so much that you can go and learn depending on which sector of the industry you're currently in or a sector of the industry that you want to be in. So it's an incredible time to go and absorb new knowledge and learn new things. And in the process, you're networking. It's wild to me when you get to the expo to see how big these buildings are, first and foremost. And then it's even more crazy to then walk in the building and be surrounded by a bunch of other helicopter guys and gals. So much of our world feels very isolated sometimes because within our personal lives, within our communities, we're one of maybe a very small percentage of people in our own little atmosphere that actually is involved in helicopters. And so to be able to go to a place where everyone is a helicopter person in some capacity is pretty incredible. So the networking opportunities are fantastic. And I think something that I failed to realize as a young pilot is I didn't know the power of network. I just was young and dumb, and I don't think I quite got it yet. So that was a misstep. But the other thing is I think maybe I was relying too much on the network that I had already kind of built. Now, again, I went to Hillsborough, big flight school. So I was becoming friends with lots of other students. I was friends with flight instructors. I was building those relationships, which served me really well moving forward in the industry. But I was like in my own little bubble, and I wasn't really willing to step outside of that bubble. And I feel like if I would have started going to Heli Expo back then, now VAI, I would have increased my network exponentially. Because again, you're going to a place where it's just helicopter people. And especially if you're partaking in seminars, training classes, going to the panel discussions, that's a great place to go and meet and connect. Not to mention there's a lot of fun activities. A lot of the OEMs like Bell and Robinson Airbus throw parties. So you can go and have some drinks, eat some good food, and mingle with other helicopter people. So again, might be too late for you to go this year if you haven't planned to go. But if you're thinking like, oh, I'm too young in my career, I'm too early, or I'm just a student pilot, I shouldn't go to this, I would rethink it because there's so much value in the show and it's a great time. My wife kind of puts it best, I feel like. She says it's like Cheers, right? It's like the bar that everyone knows your name. And so for us, when we go to Expo, we've made so many friends within this industry that even though there's thousands of people there, it feels like we're just bumping into people left and right of friends that we've made, contacts that we have, clients that we've worked with. And now with the podcast, it's even more special because this has given me a bit of a little platform. And so when I go to things like VAI, sometimes you guys will recognize me and you'll come up and say hi to me. And that just means the world to me. It's just a way for me then to further expand my network. So my wife and I love going to Heli Expo. And this year, I messed it up. Was Expo, now it's VAI, of course, Verticon. So, this is cool. We're doing our anniversary to the first location. So Dallas was our first expo, and now Dallas 4 years later. It's a great area. Dallas is a great downtown. There's lots of activities to do. The convention center is fairly easy to access. Hotels, you want to book early. So next year, pro tip, book early. We actually like to utilize Airbnb. So we have some of our team staying in an Airbnb house about 10 minutes from the convention center. And then my wife and I are staying about 5 minutes away from the convention center in a condo Airbnb. And it actually works out to be a little bit more cost effective. So maybe you're a student pilot, maybe round up 5 of your other student buddies and get an Airbnb, and your lodging and whatnot becomes a lot cheaper. I think VAI, this is not a promotion, by the way, for VAI. This is me just sharing my thing. VAI is a sponsor, so I appreciate them and of course, want to push this show, but I can't speak to anything. But I think there might be some student discounts. I know there's active military discounts. And so go to the VAI website, book your ticket, maybe get some lodging with friends, make it affordable. And if you can't go this year, think about going next year. If you're a CFI and you're kind of looking for that next step, it's also a great place. I think there's a career fair every year where you can go and kind of hand resumes off to, anyone and everyone within the industry. And so again, it's a great opportunity for so many levels.
You protect and defend. So do we. Astronautics' proven cybersecurity, connectivity, and upgrade solutions support helicopter OEMs and operators worldwide. When the mission matters, you need to trust that your avionics systems are secure, connected, and reliable because lives depend on it. Continue to protect and defend. So will we. Contact Astronautics at www.astronautics.com.
Now, this year, I'm really excited because I've always, well, that's not true. For the last 2 years, so last year in Anaheim and now this year, my primary focus has actually been on the podcast and, essentially Heli Halsey, which I kind of feel is one and the same. And the reason I do that is because I feel like the podcast and Heli Halsey are great avenues for helicopter. And so at a show like VAI, there's just so much content opportunity. It seems more advantageous to put my eggs into the content creation side of the house. And it's been extremely fun. Now I have this helicopter side as well. I'm excited to do some meetings with clients and meet new clients. My team, some of my team will be roaming the floor. So if you see any of the guys or my wife, pretty noticeable this year, pregnant. So she's popping. So, you can stop by and say hi to them, but we aren't exhibiting. We're just walking the floor. But I'm really focused on content creation. And I'm excited to share a little bit of a tease today of what we are collectively planning to do. And with we, I mean with MHM Publishing. The relationship with MHM has just continued to blossom and become so special. It's wonderful to work with people that you really care about and people that you just love working with. Mike and Linda Reno, who started MHM, are incredible people. Their team is incredible. Their editors, their sales folks, everyone in that organization is stellar. And they all have working tenure. I mean, they've all been working at MHM for a long time. So I think that's kind of a hint of culture and just a cool place to be. And I'm just lucky to be within that atmosphere. And of course, the HeliCASTS platform, which is essentially ran by John Gray. He's kind of head of that. He's part of the Hangar Z podcast, or not part of it. He's the main host, him and Jack Shanley. So it's just a great group. And I'm just feeling so lucky. And this year, we have collectively decided that it would be fun to do more work together. And so essentially what that looks like and what you guys can look forward to during the show and after the show is a lot of VAI specific content. So what does that mean? It starts with next Friday and next Saturday, which are arguably my favorite 2 days of the year, even more than Christmas. And I love Christmas and Thanksgiving, actually. Love Thanksgiving. Come on. Turkey, football, no work. I mean, does it get better? I don't think so. Anyway, so I love fly-ins, though, like it's Christmas or Thanksgiving. Fly-ins are just fun because I'm a helicopter dork, right? I can never get enough of watching helicopters come and land. I love being close to helicopters. I love being blasted by helicopters. I love my ears ringing from the noise of helicopters. And it's been a really fun experience because the last couple of years, really starting last year, actually in Anaheim, I have been acting as a bit of a correspondent for the fly-in. So I have my microphone. I'm talking about the aircraft that I'm seeing. I'm talking about who's operating it. And then if I'm lucky, I'm able to secure maybe an interview with the pilot, after they land. And I also produce content of just the operation of helicopters landing, shutting down, and then quickly getting ushered to the show. It's a well-oiled machine. They do a really good job. And so this year, we're collaborating with Verticon. So I'll be heading there kind of as what I'm calling a vertical correspondent. And for day 1 and day 2 fly-ins, we've only ever done day 2. So day 1 and 2 this year. So double, which is exciting. And I'm going to be kind of tag teaming that event with Mike Reno himself, which is super exciting. It seems like Mike likes to be behind the camera. And this year he's kind of wanting to now start being in front and chatting a little bit. And so I think him and we have a great banter, great relationship. So I think his knowledge of the industry, have some great insight during the fly-in. And our goal is just to capture it. We know that not everyone can be there. They do limit mainly to just media to be kind of close within the actual landing LZ area. And so we want to create content that makes it feel like you get to vicariously be there and you feel like you get a well-rounded experience. So make sure that you're monitoring both vertical socials and at Halsey socials, because we're going to be kind of doing live updates, lots of fun stories and reels and things like that. And then Vertical is going to be producing a long form video that they're going to push out fairly quickly of the helicopter fly-ins. And every year that they do that, it just goes viral. It's always huge. Lloyd, who's their, principal photographer, videographer, arguably kind of the helicopter guy when it comes to videography and photography, shoots all that. And so that video is going to be coming up fairly quick. And then we're also going to be presenting a secondary long form video a couple days after. And it's going to be kind of a wrap up, some talking heads. So me, some helicopter action, whatever it may be. So it's going to be really good coverage of day one and day two fly-ins. Like I said, the fly-ins are so much fun. And literally, it's one of my favorite times of the year. Everyone's in good mood, and we're just dorks. We love helicopters. What can I say? So that's really exciting.
Verticon. Experience the ultimate thrill at Verticon, the show that features more helicopters than any. Cutting-edge technology, hundreds of companies, and international industry leaders come to the world's largest vertical aviation show. Register today at verticon.org.
The next big coverage thing for us is going to be a Vertical exclusive. So I'm going to be working specifically with Vertical, and it's going to be going up on their channel. And I think actually it's going to go up on Halsey as well a little bit the night of. Not like long form content or anything, but essentially we're working together to cover the Robinson event. And what does that mean? I don't actually know. I really don't. People have been asking me, hey, Robinson says they're releasing 3 new products, including a new aircraft design. And what does that mean, Halsey? What is that? You're friends with those guys. I have no idea. I have zero idea. I was with Robinson a few weeks back in Torrance. I was trying every which way to Sunday to get as much information as I could. And man, they are tight-lipped. However, they've been producing some super fun content, kind of teasing it coming up. So if you've been following along Robinson, Robin from Robinson, their social media and marketing gal, along with her team, have been doing a fantastic job. So kudos to you guys and gals. But essentially, Sunday night of the show, or before the show, they are hosting an event, and they're going to be showcasing these 3 new products, including a new aircraft. And so we are going to be there with Vertical, covering it, talking head videos, tons of just video of hopefully the aircraft, which we're being told there is like a full aircraft there to view. So that's super exciting. So for us, our goal there is just to show you, our viewers that can't be there, the new exciting news from Robinson. I mean, it's been a long time since new aircraft have been released through Robinson, last, of course, being the R66, and 3 products this time. So I don't know. I don't want to speak too soon, but like this could be like the show. I'm just saying, like my personal opinion, I'm just feeling like this is going to be big news. David and his team there are doing awesome things. So we're going to be covering that. So you have to make sure Sunday night that you're checking the Halsey and the Vertical socials, because we're going to be posting as we go. And then we're going to be doing a little bit of a longer form content video that will go on the Vertical YouTube. Yep, that's right. We're going specifically for that one on Vertical. We think it's just an awesome editorial, and we're so excited to be producing that. And I'm just thankful that Vertical thinks I'm the right guy to correspond on that. So thank you to them, and so excited for that event. And then we get to opening ceremony, which is the night before. Usually the head or the chair of the VAI board will give a speech. It's just a big gathering. It's fun because it's like the first opportunity where you start bumping into all those friends I was talking about earlier. And it's just really a fun time to connect and see people. The energy's good. People have maybe had a couple beers. People are feeling good. They're excited for the show. So we'll cover that. That's on Monday night. And then, of course, Tuesday starts the show. And the way that we're working the show this year, pretty simple. We're going to be doing lots of live coverage day one. So I'm going to be trying to post a lot of social content day one, talking and doing interviews with attendees, with exhibitors, just lots of fun, general day one awesomeness, because day one arguably is definitely the best day. Energy is good. People are excited. It's just the good day to capture. So we're putting a lot of eggs into that basket. And again, that will be a collaboration with Verticon. So we're very excited. And then come day two and day three, it's going to be less about kind of the show content. And then I'm going to be transitioning into podcasting. And, so far, I have 4 slots available and I have 3 booked. Scheduling can always be a little tight. So I'm hoping that I can get a ringer, fourth quarter Hail Mary of an awesome guest for my 4th and final slot. But right now, we're chatting with Robinson. We're going to be talking with David and their senior engineer, Sean. And again, I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm guessing we'll be talking about the new aircraft that they're releasing in the 2 other products. But I have no idea. So that's essentially going into it blind. But I know it's going to be awesome because at that point, we'll know exactly what we're talking about and it'll be super fun. I'm talking to Ascent, which is a drone company. I guess it's related, but not connected through Robinson or requested through them. But they are owned now by Robinson. That was a merger and acquisition prior to last year's expo. And it's a drone company that is now the drone is being built in Torrance at the factory. In fact, when I was just doing my factory tour recently, I saw it. It's pretty cool. And I don't know actually much about it. So what I'm excited about is to talk to the founder of that company and learn all about it and learn about what they're excited for and actually kind of how drones and helicopters have now found this synergy of working together. I think when drones first hit the market, we were all like, they're going to take your jobs, got kind of scared. But, it seems like now that maybe drones and helicopters can live in a world together and complement each other. And so I don't know the specifics, but I know that that's going to be some talking points with the folks there at Ascent. And then the other interview that I have right now is with PG&E, very large utility. Very excited to hear about their program. We'll be talking to their senior program manager for flight operations. And we're going to be learning about his background, PG&E and their aviation background. They have an extensive and long tenured aviation program. What they're doing to increase safety now, what exactly they use helicopters for. Hey, maybe there's a little co-conversation with how they're also utilizing drones to complement helicopters. I don't know. Little teaser. We'll see. So excited to have that conversation. And then, like I said, I don't have my 4th filled right now because we're just having some scheduling conflict. So I'm guessing I'll get it figured out. I always do. But as of right now, it's an open slot. I can guarantee, though, whoever it is, it's going to be awesome. I'm just telling you. Like, if you miss that episode, well, that's on you. So I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. And I'm just so excited.
Thank you to our sponsor, Precision Aviation Group. Mission-critical operators and fleet managers rely on Precision Aviation Group as a worldwide leading rotor and fixed-wing MRO provider. PAG provides tip-to-tail solutions in 4 MRO segments: avionics, components, engines, and manufacturing DER services. A single point of contact gives you access to over 150 million in inventory globally, 24/7. Just call 800-537-2778. Precision Aviation Group. Others sell parts. We sell support.
If you're listening to this podcast, which is coming out on Tuesday, so you're listening to it on Tuesday, video should actually be out on Sunday. and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to Heli Expo or VAI. I should have to like put $1 in a jar every time I call it Heli Expo. VAI. I can do it. And you're going to VAI. Let's connect. Hit me up on Insta. Love connecting with folks. I love meeting people. I love making new friends. If you have podcast ideas, reach out. I love hearing about it. And last year, it was so much fun because I literally got to meet so many people that consume the podcast. Look, never thought that the podcast would be anything, to be honest. And so the fact that in our little helicopter world, people now come to me and say, hey, I love your podcast. Or I switched my career because of your podcast. That stuff is incredible to me. I mean, it's so powerful. And this is actually a lot of work. I put a lot of time, effort, and energy into this. And I love doing it. But when I get that type of feedback, it's like, man, this is incredible. It's just one of those things that's turned into so much more. So being able to go to a show and actually have face-to-face interaction with you guys and gals that listen to me, and I appreciate it. In fact, I think it's been about 2 years that I've consistently posted an episode on every Tuesday for 2 years straight. And kind of funny. And again, power. I'm going to finish with this. The power of Expo, now VAI. 2 years ago, we are in Atlanta for the show. Things are going pretty good. We're exhibiting on behalf of Helicopter. And, the podcast at that point had started a couple years before. And then I just got busy and it wasn't a priority. And it just hadn't really been going. And then leading up to the show, I think 3 or 4 weeks, I started doing episodes again. And I was like telling myself in my head, I'm going to do this consistently. And I have to do it consistently. Easier said than done. And at that show, I got to connect again with Mike and Linda and now John Gray, who I know very well, but at that time did not know. Derek, everyone from the MHM team, essentially, I got to connect with. And Mike Reno was just fired up. He was fired up about podcasts. And it just seemed like kind of serendipitous because I had just reignited my excitement and my fire for doing the podcast. And then here we are at Expo. Again, a great place to go and network and connect. And for me to be able to network with Mike and the MHM team at that time, it was like just the perfect time. He was ready to go. John Gray, the Hangar Z podcast, was ready to spearhead it and go. And essentially, shortly thereafter Atlanta, we launched HeliCASTS. And last year, we were doing podcasts live from Expo. Everything's been happening so fast, and it's just been growing so quickly. We've added now the Vertical MRO, and we're adding more podcasts, more hosts, more guests. It's just awesome. Again, the power of the Expo. And in this case, of course, moving forward, VAI. I'm not sure that the HeliCAST platform exists if we all didn't connect in Atlanta a couple years ago while at the show. Again, it's just an opportunity where you're not talking on the phone, you're not doing the Zoom thing, you're legitimately in person, face-to-face, having conversations. And that's how HeliCAST was born. HeliCAST is a great opportunity for me. So the show has greatly benefited my business with Helicopter and everything. So for me, going and networking and being part of that expo to make this happen has been incredible. So it can happen for you too. You can go and you can find your job. You can make and meet new friends. I'm sure there's even been couples that have met at Heli Expo and now are married. If that's you, reach out. I want to hear your story. Anyway, so excited. Lots of blabble blabble. I apologize, but I legitimately am excited. Unrelated, maybe keeping the beard for Heli Expo. It's going a little bit gray, which I think actually looks kind of cool. Makes me maybe a little more distinguished. So trying to determine if I should go beard or no beard. So we'll see. And we're just excited for Dallas. So if you're going to Expo, please reach out, say hello. I'm going to be at the Vertical booth for day 2 and day 3 primarily. And so that would be a great place to find me. And actually, I should pull this up, but The Vertical booth, for your information, is number 5712. So 5712 is the booth. It's a beautiful booth. We're going to be podcasting there. So myself, the Vertical MRO, Jason Quinn's Real Rescue, Hanger Z, we are doing it. So just so excited for that. I know that I'm not looking at the screen right now. I'm actually trying to pull up a map so I can tell you what we're by, because I know that we always have a prime location. So Vertical is pretty much right across from Pratt, next to Milestone Aviation Group, right down the road from Metro. It's right on the main hall, essentially. Great real estate, and super excited, again, to be podcasting this year. Just to tease some of the other stuff, looks like the Hanger Z will be talking to Leading Edge Aviation about women in aviation. Looks like the Hanger Z will also be talking to the Montana Fish and Wildlife folks. Real Rescue is going to be talking to some awesome people, including the ARS 2.0. Don't actually know if that's a person or a company. I'm sorry. I'm not in the rescue space. Give me a break. Anyway, so excited to see those guys. Vertical MRO is going to be talking to Airbus and some other cool talks as well. So again, so excited for this year's Verticon VAI. Please go follow us right now on social. Make sure that you're following all Vertical socials, Insta, Facebook, YouTube, etc. And please do the same for @HeliHalsey. And that's how you can stay up to date if you're not able to go to this year's show. Cool. Thanks for bearing with me. I hope this was entertaining. It's fun to record. See ya.
You protect and defend. So do we. Astronautics proven cybersecurity, connectivity, and upgrade solutions support helicopter OEMs and operators worldwide. When the mission matters, you need to trust that your avionics systems are secure, connected, and reliable because lives depend on it. Continue to protect and defend. So will we. Contact Astronautics at www.astronautics.com.
Verticon. Experience the ultimate thrill at Verticon, the show that features more helicopters than any. Cutting-edge technology, hundreds of companies, and international industry leaders come to the world's largest vertical aviation show. Register today at verticon.org.
Thank you to our sponsor, Precision Aviation Group. Mission-critical operators and fleet managers rely on Precision Aviation Group as a worldwide leading rotor and fixed-wing MRO provider. PAG provides tip-to-tail solutions in 4 MRO segments: avionics, components, engines, and manufacturing DER services. A single point of contact gives you access to over 150 million in inventory globally, 24/7. Just call 800-537-2778. Precision Aviation Group. Others sell parts. We sell support.